Dr. Waleed Abdalati, and he worked as a scientist at NASA for 15 years, chief scientist for more than a year, and is current director of Cooperative Institute of Research, or for Research in Environmental Sciences in Colorado. And he's just been named the new PBS documentary series host, The Crowd in the Cloud. And Dr. Waleed Abdalati is on the line right now. Doctor, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Thanks so much for it. Do you get back to New Hartford and the Utica area at all?
Rarely, but when I do, it's always a pleasure.
It always seems to come back to food, right? It's always about
That's right.
back for the food. So certainly you've I want to just right off the bat, I mean, you were here in Rush, and, we're on a station that carries Fox News, and the issue right now, there's a lot of issue out there, the March for Science, and is there really global warming? Is this just a man-made story, or is global warming man-made? Where do you fall on this whole story? On the science, where do you fall?
Well, the data are pretty clear that the Earth is warming, and there's a basic principle. If you put heat-trapping gas, it will trap heat. If you put heat-trapping gas in the atmosphere, it will trap heat.
Yeah.
We are putting heat-trapping gas in the atmosphere, and it is trapping heat. That really the best consensus, and this isn't made-up stuff, the best consensus is that humans are certainly contributing to the majority of global warming. What gets messy, though, is what do you do about it?
Right.
And, the policy is so complicated. In some ways, I think it's more complicated than the science. So, the science tells us, the physics tells us, the Earth is warming and humans are contributing substantially to it. What do you do about it involves a lot of complex considerations about business, economics, basic science, social science. How does this affect people? So it's far more complex than people who try to simplify it really make it.
And it is, when the politics get in, and there's a small number of scientists who will come out and say that this is man does not contribute, which that small percentage is. But it becomes the politics get into it, and that's where this. Otherwise, we probably would be like, of course, it's the science is correct. But when politics gets in, it really does change. It changes everything.
Yeah. And when scientists get into political matters or politicians get into scientific matters, it gets really muddied.
Did they make a mistake? Is the March for Science, was that a mistake? Because it really.
I won't call it a mistake. I didn't participate. A lot of my friends did. I felt it had the potential to backfire. I mean, in the simplest sense, making a statement about the importance of science and the need to be rigorous is a good thing. And I think it's nice that people assemble to make that. My fear was that it would turn into something too political. And in some locations, at some marches, it did. It diverted from, the importance and value of science into, what the current administration is doing is disregarding science, and it became, a political statement more than a scientific one.
They used as a defense that Albert Einstein, very, very political, especially in his later years.
Well, of course. I mean, when you know something that's of value to society, I think scientists have an obligation to express it. So in that sense, I supported it. I liked the idea of expression. My concern was that places that perhaps it shouldn't go.
Got it. So let's talk about congratulations, by the way, on being host
thank
of
you.
PBS documentary, The Crowd in the Cloud. Talk about this is it really delves into the topic of public participation in scientific research. Talk about that.
Yeah, sure. So the show is about what we call citizen science, where individuals who just care about something and want to contribute to understanding and solutions to scientific challenges participate. One really cool area that I like is something called SmartFin, where our satellites that measure ocean temperature and salinity and acidification and things like that don't do well near the coast. There's sparse data in coastal regions. So there's a guy who developed a fin for surfboards that measure temperature and salinity. And these surfers, dozens of them, hundreds of them, spins to their board. They go out surfing, spend their couple of hours doing what they love. They come back and they upload the data to a central database, and all of a sudden we've got tons of data that we didn't have anywhere. Help us understand what's happening in the oceans near the coast. It's activities like that, the Audubon Christmas bird count, where thousands of people for the last 100+ years go out and count birds and mark their location and where they see them, and this has provided a record of how bird habitat has moved northward as things have warmed throughout the world, throughout the northern hemisphere.
Yeah.
So it's citizen participation, which increases awareness and produces valuable scientific data.
Well, it's funny because we humans, we do tend to hyperfocus, some of us. And when you hyperfocus on a certain, whether it's birds or it's lead in water, whatever topic, whatever cause we get involved in, it does make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what we find is people care so much that they put the energy and time into it in ways that, a small group of scientists couldn't. When you have hundreds of people doing something, as opposed to, 6 scientists, you're going to get a lot more information if you use it correctly. It can be tremendously valuable.
All right, Dr. Waleed Abdalati, a graduate of New Hartford High School and on to Syracuse and then the University of Colorado, now the host of the PBS documentary series, which is a 4-part series. Am I correct?
That is.
Okay, it's the Crowd in the Cloud. And when is it on? When can people see it? I believe it began airing in April, on April 1st.
It did, and you can watch it online. If you go to the website crowdandcloud.org, so Crowd and Cloud, all one word, you can find where it's showing in your area, or you can just watch the episodes online.
All right, really cool. And you have family still here? Any family still connected to the area?
No, not really. I got a few very dear friends, but no family. I just have a sister who lives in the D.C. area.
Got it. All right. Dr. Waleed Abdalati, thanks for taking the time, and congratulations on all of your successes. That's pretty awesome.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you.